This is Saige, and I'm with G Herbo in New York City on the subway. It's always good. All right, where are we going? Jamaica, Manhattan. All right, so we just transferred. We're going back now, back to Manhattan from Queens, and we're picking up on this interview. So, PTSD, before we get into the actual music side, school us on what PTSD is and you're being diagnosed with it.
PTSD, of course, stands for post-traumatic stress disorder, and it's me spreading light on not being able to recover from traumatic events or not understanding that you went through so many traumatic events that you actually have a sickness and you behave a certain way, you think a certain way because of that, you know what I'm saying? And basically that's what a sickness is. You have a cold, you sweat a certain way, you sneeze a certain way, your nose runs. So symptoms, yeah. I want people to really understand that it's a cause and effect to everything. Nothing is not by coincidence. People are out here living the way they live because of a cause and how it affected them. So PTSD it's important for me to spread light on that because I come from where you endure trauma every day on a day-to-day basis. You know, I'm 24. I got introduced to death, murder when I wasn't even a teenager yet. You know what I'm saying? So I think being normalized by it, or it being normalized and being immune to it, I just got a strong mind. But I've been through some fucked up shit and I behaved a certain way because of that. And I thought I was normal, you know, and a lot of these kids think they're normal. They think it's normal to be angry all day or to have animosity or to feel like you're gonna die or to feel like you may have to kill someone. And it's not even just about gun violence or violence, it's just trauma, period. You know what I'm saying? Like I just said earlier in the interview, like compare and contrast if I was from two different places. You know what I'm saying? Like people endure trauma coming from an entirely different area or whereas it's like the suburbs in a sense. They endure trauma from not being able to play the sports they want to play or not being able to, you know, like parents divorcing and stuff like that.
It's not just veterans.
Exactly. So like we endure trauma in so many different ways, and because of that, people may judge us for it, but you can't really judge someone until you walk in their shoes.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
True.
So, yeah.
And to kind of combine trauma with also more or less my last question on our last topic, as far as the glorifying of drugs or just speaking on it in songs and stuff, what do you think as artists and also just consumers of music, what can we do to help that issue?
I think really artists and consumers of music, to help the issue, it is having someone like me that's not afraid to get in front of here that has influence and say, I was addicted, and I took the step to make sure that, you know what I'm saying, I went and got cleaned up, and you know what I'm saying, and I acknowledge that what we're doing is wrong, and acknowledge that it's not gonna fix the problem. Like drugs aren't gonna solve your problems, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's the first step, of course, and giving people options, resources. You can't tell someone to change their lifestyle or change their habits if you're not giving them an alternative, you know? So those two I feel like are the first two steps.
That.
Yeah.
And then do you have 1, 2, or 3 reasons why you tell someone that they should go to therapy? One reason is for someone to hear about or to chime in or give their opinions and thoughts about something that has totally nothing to do with them. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I think it's a different perspective.
Yeah, a different perspective, a different result that you're going to get. You're going to get a different result from going to talk to someone and from a different perspective, because when I went to talk to my therapist for the first time, I didn't think it would go successful, you know, but
you were hesitant?
Yeah, I was hesitant at first, but I do think it's good to tell someone who really doesn't understand what it is, and just to be able to vent to someone, like to actually vent. Like people really go crazy when they bottle their thoughts, their feelings inside of them, and they have no one to vent to. So it's cool to just get that out to someone. You know what I'm saying?
100%. Cool. So PTSD is your newest album.
Mm-hmm.
What are we getting on this album that you don't think we've gotten on any of your previous projects?
Vulnerability for one. I'm really letting people inside of my life where I've always did it in a way, like, you know what I'm saying, but not on this level, like really personal, and it's not just putting people in my business. It's to help. It's to help because they need to hear these things. Like people would, like someone of my caliber, or like, you know what I'm saying, that has success or, you know, with influence, they look at us as perfect in a sense, like we don't go through the same things that regular people go through, you know. And it's important for me to talk about it because it'll help a regular person who don't think like you. I think, and even me, like, because I'm young, so I'm able to really remember like the times when I wasn't in this position.
Yeah.
So if I was going through something and one of my favorite artists, my favorite basketball players, told me that they were going through the same thing and this is how they went about it, I would try that. So I feel it's important for me to do that because I really think I'm going to help so many people.
You can walk by. Thank you.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna help a lot of people with that, you know.
Leading by example.
Yeah, it's just being vulnerable and being honest with yourself, and you know what I'm saying, wearing your scars proudly. It's real. That's important for me.
Why now for this album title? Like, and I think mixed with the vulnerability. Like, why are you being more vulnerable now, and why didn't you name your last album PTSD?
Because my last album, I didn't even know that I had PTSD, to be honest. Well,
okay.
You know, I wasn't really aware. I mean, I was aware of the reality of what I was going through, but I didn't know that I was suffering from a real mental illness, you know what I'm saying? For one. For two, I think, again, people think that with me being in, you know, the spotlight and having stardom, or having, you know, that people think, that platform, people really think that your life is like, not a certain way. And I feel with me having that stardom, my life has been that much harder, where like I want to speak on it because a lot of things on the outside looking in, my fans may have questions that I unanswered to, that I may not answer on it. You know, like the way the internet is set up nowadays, people look for that. Like someone goes to the internet and says something about you, they look for your response back to the internet. And I think that was never something that I was interested in doing. It was never something important to me. It was never something that kind of like was in my character. So I'm able to do that through my music because it's therapy for me. Like, I'm not afraid to talk about something through my music, but I won't talk about it on the internet, if you get what I'm saying.
It's your outlet.
It's my outlet, and I feel like it's for the people who appreciate me, who are near and dear to me, true to me. So that's why I do it through my music. I know the people outside on the internet, they probably don't really care about me for real, you know, so that's why I wanted to do it.
People who are following you, who are actually going, streaming your music, clicking your music.
That's who it's for. That's who it's for. The people who are on internet just leaving negative comments and stuff like that, I don't really care to please those people or appeal to them.
That's cool. What's your favorite song on this album?
My favorite song on this album is PTSD, then the intro.
So we do not have that one yet.
You don't have the intro, or you don't have PTSD?
Wait, what are your two songs out right now?
Shooter and In This Bitch are the two songs that's out right now.
Okay, we haven't heard that one yet.
Okay, yeah, my favorite songs on the actual album, on the LP, are PTSD featuring me, Juice WRLD, Chance the Rapper, and Lil Uzi.
Okay.
So yeah,
hell yeah.
That's a really important record.
I'm excited for that.
And my second favorite is the very first track, the intro, because I just love the way I'm rapping on that record.
Cool. Anything else you want to add about your album?
Man, it's a special project, and I want to tell my fans that this is the door again to me being able to like bring you on this everlasting journey now. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like PTSD is the album that's going to set the tone for the rest of my career. So yeah.
That's a big moment. Also, I was just going to say, vulnerability is like basically, in my opinion, the one way that you actually build relationships and connect with people.
Exactly.
So if this is an album where you're being incredibly vulnerable, your whole following is probably just gonna double. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I believe so though. I do believe so. I believe that definitely this is gonna be the album where bring people into my world, people who necessarily may have not been, you know what I'm saying? And I say that those are the artists that usually stand the test of time, the ones that can be the most vulnerable and the ones that can talk about real life situations and instances that may break the next person but didn't break me, and I'm able to talk about it, so maybe it'll help the next person that is affected by this stuff to not break in these situations.
Oh yeah, cheers to that.
Yeah.
How have your conversations with Bibby changed from when you filmed the Kill Shit video to now?
My conversations with Bibby probably haven't changed much.
Really?
We really like still the same two kids. I'm the goofy kid, he the quiet kid from 79th Street. So I think our conversations really haven't changed much, but if on the level that they have changed, are we really talking about like success and the stuff that we didn't never think we'll end up talking about when we like talking about business plays and money plays and stuff like that, when we never had those conversations before. So if it has changed, it's changed in that sense. But as far as our normal conversations, we just goof around most of the time.
Okay. You say that you and your boys would die for each other. But when it comes to street shit and gang stuff, isn't that also almost a reason why a lot of people would stay in a potentially dangerous situation, because you don't want to leave and piss people off and become in a more dangerous situation?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think in the streets, I'm gonna say this, it's not a street code. It's a code of brotherhood and loyalty, because in the streets, people don't die for each other. You know, like they don't have that sense of loyalty where you're gonna really risk yourself, or you know what I'm saying, your freedom, or you know what I'm saying, your life for yourself or your life for your family for the next person. I think that's just a genuine relationship that I built with my best friends, where we really like have that bond. But I don't think that really comes from being in the streets, because I've seen firsthand where guys who grew up together, spend every day together, when it comes down to making that sacrifice for your brother, they won't. So, but with having that loyalty, you will. Like when you have an option, people have options, and sometimes their friends don't, they will go with not having an option to not leave their brother behind. You know, and
not having the option to not leave?
Not like say for instance, it's me and you, and you're about to, you gotta walk home. And you know on your way home, you're about to walk through 4 or 5 guys that don't like you. And 9 times out of 10, you're gonna fight those guys. I don't have to go that way. I have a whole other area. I have a home to go to where I'm cool.
Got your own
My mom's
home.
calling me where I have to be home. But I make the decision to walk home with you, because I don't want you to go through what you're going through by yourself. And we both go through it together. So now I'm putting myself in freedom for you.
And that's just based off of the relationships you built, not necessarily the streets or whatever.
I wouldn't say it's the street code, because people don't really follow that.
So you say that most people in the streets are followers, but you also say that you wanted to be in the streets. So for the other people who actually want to be in the streets, do you say do your thing, or do you have advice for them to say like get out?
I always have advice to say get out, or have some type of escape plan, some type of what if plan, because being in the streets, there's not many ways out. It's inevitability being in the streets that you're gonna endure trauma, you're gonna endure some death, you know what I'm saying, some jail time, somebody's going to jail. So I think you can't really say, you can't not tell a person not to do them. Like I said, you can't tell a person to get off the corner if you don't have an alternative for him once he gets off that corner. You don't have a resource, an outlet, some type of programming and a job ready for them when they get out of that program. Not just a one step, put you through this training and then what do? I gotta go look for a job. So I think the people who want to be in the streets ultimately like still don't have many options. Like when you want to be in the streets, you just accept your reality. You know what I'm saying? Like when I wanted to be in the streets, it wasn't like I just had aspirations to put my life on the line. I just wanted to be in the streets because I wanted to perfect my realities. I wanted to be great at the realities that I was doing, and to endure a lot of these obstacles. I wanted to know how to think when these things came my way, because I knew eventually they would. So I embraced it.
But then music came along.
Music saved my life.
There you go. That's cool. Right. Your voice too. Not all of your songs
sound the same.
Yeah, but your voice, it's like
it's distinct. You know, it's me.
Yeah, it's so different.
People say I kind of like. Sometimes you may say my voice, like if I talk and have a regular conversation, you could tell that it's me, even if I'm on a song. Is what I'm saying. So I don't know. It's kind of different, but my songs don't always sound as it's weird. I don't know.
It must be freaking cool to be an artist, right? Like just be like
cool,
good
but
at your.
A lot of hard work.
Okay. Are you? I believe it. Are you one of those artists who are in the studio till like 5 in the morning, or do you do daytime hours?
I'm one of those artists that's in the studio till 11 a.m.
What time do you go?
The night before.
At like 11 p.m.?
8 p.m., 7 p.m. And
Really?
I'm in the studio at 11 a.m., 12 p.m. sometimes.
Shit.
5 a.m., that's the average night for me. 4.
So then, are you nocturnal? Like, is this your sleeping time right now?
Yeah, my sleeping schedule is kind of not so good, but I don't feel like I'm tired or anything. Like, I love doing what I do, so sometimes my most sleep is on a 3-4 hour flight going to the next city or something like that.
Oh my gosh. Do you take time off though? Do you take time, like?
Yeah, I do, but 9 times out of 10 when I take time off, I'm still like, it's a working, you know, like time off is still me probably.
Oh no? Okay.
My time off is still me probably like doing something that has to do with music or on the phone with someone.
So you don't really go on vacations?
I really don't take breaks. Nah, not as much. I go on vacation when my girl wants to go, but not me. I wasn't like a vacation kind of guy until I met my girl.
Okay.
And on my off days, I try to give my son as much as possible. I don't really rest.
How's the balance with having a child and trying to make time for your child with music?
The balance is really making sure that that's important. Well, like literally right now, I was just texting my son, Mom, because I'm trying to get my son here tomorrow while I have a show, but it's like with my schedule and how it conflicts, I don't want to like, I don't want to force things, you know, like I don't want to have my son and have to be this place, be that place, be on stage while I'm not necessarily spending time with him. That lets you know how important it is for me to try to see my son as much as possible, but I have to really like balance out my schedule and set time out
aside
for my son.
Yeah,
you know?
and then be, like you said, like kind of thinking about like when can I actually give him all my time and effort.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you're 24, like, were you so scared, or were you just like happy when you found out you were having a child?
No, I was nervous. Of course I was nervous because I knew that I wanted to be a good father. So
yeah.
Like, I'm about to be overloaded with responsibility, you know what I'm saying? And I have a life that depends on me now, and I have like people who depend on me just because I have a life that depends on me, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I would be lying if I said I wasn't scared.
It's cool though, it's a blessing.
Yeah, I love it.
Any kids coming soon? I feel
Yeah,
like that's like such a
more
journalist
kids.
question,
I
but
definitely want more kids, absolutely.
cool. I'm 26 and I'm like, I cannot have a kid. Like, no kids for me, not for a while.
I'm gonna have another. Eventually.
Do you want a boy or girl?
Soon, right now. To be honest, I do want another boy, but I wouldn't mind a girl.
Yeah. I mean, either way, it's a life and it's like you're creating it. So
I wouldn't mind a girl. I don't know why it's just some with me and boys. I have fun with boys.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I feel like we could stop recording because I also don't want you to feel like I mean, you're here to record, but
Yeah,
I also
cool.
like chopping it up
I'm chilling.
for real.
I'm chilling. So whatever you want to do, say it.